What would you do if suddenly there were no men?
Listen, the best outcome will always be a man leaving you.
A woman choosing to protect her peace and opt out of men is the same as a man choosing to trash talk women out of spite.
If you are single, living in this economy, doing everything for yourself, you a bad bitch.
What happens when millions of men quietly stop participating in the dating market? Why are more men choosing peace, freedom, and self-improvement over chasing relationships in 2026? And why are more women starting to notice the effects of that decision? Stay with us until the end of this video, because this silent shift may be changing modern dating more than anyone expected.
Listen, the best outcome will always be a man leaving you. And it's so crazy because we were conditioned to believe that a man leaving you means like you're a bottom of the barrel woman. No one wants you. That man left you. He could have killed me. He could have literally shot my ass and threw me in the bushes. Him leaving me was probably the best outcome for me and for him, because he going where he want to go and I get to stay alive. Like, why y'all ain't say that? Why y'all didn't present that as an option?
For years, many people assumed men would always be willing to pursue, approach, and compete for relationships. But in 2026, a growing number of men are stepping back and focusing on themselves instead.
I told you guys, man, we're barely getting started here. Trust me. Now that these people are covering it and soon more and more people are covering it, when the financial impact starts to get big enough, when the voices from women start getting loud enough, because there is going to be more and more dating pressure applied. Every single man that leaves is another Mick Simpy that would have been paying out his ass 50-50 in divorce court or working his ass off to support a woman, my money, and happy wife, happy life. That's one less man. That every single dude that leaves, that's less taxes in the coffers of the city, the state, and the country. And that's less money that you're giving to the corporations that you would have been supporting buying their shitty products. You're going somewhere completely different. This is like a triple threat. The dating pool shrinks, the government gets less taxes, the corporations make less profit. That's your power. That's what you can use. Maybe one day when the number gets so large, if it ever gets so large that it's impacting all three heavily, maybe then they'll start to take this seriously and start to make changes in the culture across the board. Until then, get out and leave. Don't fight for people that would never fight for you.
What surprises many observers is that these men don't appear unhappy. They're spending more time on fitness, careers, hobbies, travel, and personal goals. For many, life feels simpler and less stressful.
POV, your ex has the kids, so you're eating in your car alone because he uses your house. And I removed the song because it's licensed, but the lyrics playing are like, F you very much. But if you're like me, you're like, what? Why is he using your house? What kind of a situation is this? So her caption reads, people think this is a break. He doesn't have a place to take them, so when he has the kids, it's at my house. Gym, errands, sitting in my car eating dinner. Single moms don't get breaks. We just get displaced. Now, this all seems whack to me because there is no way I'm going to break up with my man just to leave my own house to give him unsupervised access to it. But also maybe I would. I don't know. I'm trying to be open-minded to how we even got here. Maybe she took the house in the divorce and that's why he doesn't have a place to stay and she feels bad about it, so that's why she lets him use it. Maybe it was always her house before the marriage, but until he finds a new place, she's just trying to be nice. But either way, it is still a break, and any single parent without any co-parent involved will tell you that. Like gym, errands, seeing your friends without a kid there is worth its weight in parent dollars. I once left my husband alone with our baby to get a quick flu shot, but the systems went down, so I was standing in line for 45 minutes and I was like, wow, what a vacation. But eating alone in your car isn't necessary. That's a you choice. If it's me and I'm letting my baby daddy use my house for his parenting time and I need to eat my takeout, I'm eating my takeout right there in the dining room. I'm not hiding under a blanket. Whether you want me there or not, it's my house. But I don't know, would you guys do this arrangement if your co-parent didn't have a place to stay, or would they absolutely rob you and go through your shit? I'm just saying it could go a number of ways.
A lot of men became tired of modern dating dynamics. The emotional uncertainty, financial pressure, and constant need for validation caused many to question whether the effort was worth it.
The worst thing a man can go through is death, but the second worst thing is divorce. Marriage is a business contract with the state. It has nothing to do with romance. The reason men aren't getting married is because women stole too much. Imagine a city block with 100 convenience stores. 80 of them get robbed. Would anybody ask, why are the store owners here so paranoid? No, the real question is, why is the state helping 80% of the stores get robbed? Guys have watched too many cautionary tales. Friends lose their houses, businesses get split up. When enough store owners get robbed, the block changes. Incentives shape behavior. So don't ask why men don't want to get married anymore. Ask why 80 out of 100 stores are getting robbed.
And once men become comfortable being alone, something changes. They stop viewing relationships as a necessity and start treating them as a choice.
Now, most women and femme people are familiar with the little thought experiment, like, what would you do if suddenly there were no men? And the women and the femme people will say, I would go out at night and I would walk around and I would not hold my car keys between my fingers and be afraid for my life. And I would just do whatever I wanted and wear whatever I wanted and just live without fear, without second guessing myself or thinking through every possible escape scenario everywhere. It would be such a relief. And many women and femme people are also familiar with that little saying that goes something like, well, if all the men suddenly disappeared, who would protect you? Well, if all the men suddenly disappeared, who would we need to be protected from? And most women and femme people know that the purpose of talking about that thought experiment and the purpose of saying some version of that saying, the concept of these two things is meant to highlight, not for us, we who actually live it and know it, but to highlight for them, for the men, to help them think about what it feels like to walk the earth in our shoes with them as our primary predator. For them to think about the ways in which they, as a group, not individuals, not all men, some men are good men, blah, 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 as a group, collectively, they present a clear and present danger to us that the good ones don't do very much to mitigate. The purpose of talking about these things is to illustrate by example for the men to have a better understanding of the mental, emotional, and physical toll of being a woman or femme person in a male-dominated society under patriarchy where misogyny is rampant and crimes are being perpetrated against us all the fucking time because it's a larger systemic problem. The culture in which we live does not encourage you to see us as human beings. That is why we have to humanize ourselves as intentionally and aggressively as possible for you, because we will never escape the situation we find ourselves in unless we can convince you to stop and to help us stop the men who do these things to us. So it's really disappointing when a woman engages in one of these activities, perhaps saying something in a comment section on a video where a woman is talking about another woman who was sexually assaulted by a police officer who was called to help the woman home, to escort the drunk woman home so that harm would not befall her. And when he picked her up and escorted her home, he sexually assaulted her. So on a video where a woman is talking about that, and another woman says, I read a meme that says, if all the men in the world were suddenly gone, who would protect? Protect us from who? We wouldn't need protection. The threat is gone. So when that happens and the man responds, you do realize there are a lot of very violent women out there as well, right? Then yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because yet again, when women try to point out the things, when we try to humanize ourselves and our situations so that you can see what it's like to live this way, when you yourself have so much more power than you think you do over fixing this scenario, you are benefiting from the systems that allow this behavior to flourish. You are benefiting and you are not doing enough to stop it. It's disappointing enough to have you respond with but what about women? Women do bad things too. It's not just men, women also do bad things. As if those two things are even fucking remotely equal. Yes, that is disappointing enough, as it is. But you know what's even more disappointing? But I will add, not surprising. And you go check out his account, and this is his profile picture. Because this is no longer a question of like, have you heard about the statistics of women being sexually assaulted in the military? Like, have you read about, you fucking lived in the middle of that shit. You lived in the middle of that culture. When men serve, they have to worry about enemy combatants and other people trying to attack, trying to kill, trying to hurt them because they're on the front lines out there doing things out in the world that are very dangerous, where everybody has fucking guns and weapons. They have to be afraid for their lives when they're out there in the world doing military shit. And when women join the military, they also have to be afraid of those exact same things. And on top of that, they have to be afraid that they will be raped or killed by their fellow soldiers, by the men that they serve alongside, because you know what? It happens all the fucking time. Yeah, there are violent women out there. There are violent women. And do you know why? Because human beings have the capacity for violence. As a species, we have the capacity for violence. But the military is one of the most stark, black and white examples we could point to right off the cuff to say, yeah, okay, human beings have the capacity for violence. But then when you take a hyper-masculine culture, masculine dominant culture, then see what happens. Is it just human beings that have the capacity for violence? There are violent women out there, and yet it is not even remotely the same thing as the thing that we are talking about. And either you know that and you just don't fucking care, or you don't know it and you should fucking learn about it. Hope this helps, sir. Bye.
Social media has made this trend impossible to ignore. More men are openly discussing personal growth, financial independence, and building fulfilling lives without making dating their main focus.
The biggest I told you so that I'm starting to understand as I get older as a man is seeing the girl who chose face her consequences. Like, yeah, it's evident that all these girls gonna choose. It's just a political state in every man's life that a woman gonna choose no matter what. Nigga could be fucking 6 feet, light skin, majestic powers. She's going, right? It is what it is. But it be the consequences the bitches gotta be putting up with. It'd be like the best return on investment. Because whole time, Buddy ain't shit. Buddy's still trying to be a rapper. And Buddy still ain't getting no damn job since the last job in high school. And it'd be so funny to me watching these bitches put up with the nigga shit, because it's like, bitch, you really chose this ain't shit, nigga. And now you about to face the real consequences. Like, you thought you about to be fanned out, bitch, you is about to be stressed out. Nigga doing remixes to rap challenges and you the only one sharing this shit on Facebook. Nigga posting high school highlights and you commenting talking about the good times. And your duck ass posting motherfucking boomerang pics on your Instagram story of Mariah the Scientist talking about your lover. Bitch, you is going through hell and high water. And I don't feel sorry for you.
What catches some women off guard is that these men are no longer chasing attention. They're comfortable with solitude, and that changes the entire dynamic of modern dating.
You do not have to accept her rejection. You do not have to accept her rejection. Remember. You do not have to accept her rejection. Do not have to accept her rejection. Have to accept her rejection. Accept her rejection. Accept her rejection. Her rejection. Her rejection. Her rejection. Her rejection. Her rejection. 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 Accept her rejection.
The apple never falls far from the tree, freshly made by the patriarchy.
Many bachelors are now investing their energy into themselves. The more progress they make, the less interested they become in situations that threaten their peace or stability.
So a woman choosing to protect her peace and opt out of men is the same as a man choosing to trash talk women out of spite? Interesting take. Let's unpack that. First of all, boundaries are not violence. They are the most basic form of human autonomy. The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre said that freedom is what you do with what's been done to you. Opting out of men after a repeated pattern of harm is a radical act of freedom, not hate. Men quit women constantly. It is in the fabric of our society. They walk out and abandon families. They treat their wives like emotional maids. They ghost after sex. They trade aging partners for younger bodies. They refuse vulnerability. They refuse therapy. They refuse maintenance of connection. And somehow society just calls that being a man. Meanwhile, we're told that a woman's worth is in how much she endures. So when a woman says, I refuse to endure you any longer, that is an act of self-preservation, not an act of disparagement. The only reason that it feels like an insult is because men believe that a woman closing a door to them is a violation of the natural order of things, because patriarchy teaches them that women are resources. And let's be honest here, most men don't really want to quit women. They want to quit giving while still receiving sex and cooking and ego stroking and status. They want to continue extracting, but not reciprocating. So no, the inverse is not true here. A woman opting out is withdrawing her emotional labor. A man disparaging women is punishing her for a lack of access. One upholds and protects life, and the other continues the violence. Simone de Beauvoir wrote that one is not born, rather becomes a woman. And some of us are now choosing to unbecome one. Not out of bitterness, but because refusing to continue to be destroyed by you is the last act of self-respect that we have.
The biggest twist is that this isn't a loud protest. Men aren't organizing marches or making grand announcements. They're simply participating less and focusing elsewhere.
You see men and accountability and self-reflection, total strangers. A lot of men, they're not prepared for a world where women no longer need relationships for survival. So that is a shift that's been happening, hence all these outbursts and all these tantrums these men have been having on these podcasts lately. Women are getting educated, they're literally earning their own money, they're building brands, they're building businesses. And when a woman gets to that point, a relationship literally becomes a choice and not a necessity. So the outrage that we have been seeing, the tantrums that we have been seeing from these men, they don't like the fact that women are opting out of an institution that is not really benefiting them. And unfortunately, they are responding with resentment. They're responding with blame instead of them to use this as a point for self-reflection. I remember somebody made a statement and they were pretty much like, in this generation, the reason why marriages and relationships are not working or not lasting how they used to in the previous generations is because this is the first time that women are actually dating for character. You see, men and accountability and self-reflection, total strangers. I don't know what their beef is, but you see those three things, they can never meet on common grounds. Men and accountability and self, it's like they are literally foreign to each other. Mind you, this can solve a lot of the issues, not even just in relationships, but the issues that we are facing in this patriarchal society. If men can hold themselves accountable, hold each other, and have these uncomfortable conversations with each other, the way they band together and talk down on women, this world will be a better place. But the truth of the matter is that for them, accountability is harder. It requires them to do a lot of work. And you know who they always wanted them to do the hard work for them? The women. When it comes to them, accountability is harder than pointing the finger. So they would rather play the blame game and point the finger at women. And that's exactly why you see these men coming on these podcasts and coming online to quickly reduce a woman's experience, and start calling her bitter. They will call single mothers bitter. They will call divorced women bitter, as if it's fair. Mind you, let's even agree that these women are bitter. Who made them bitter? Is it not men? Is it not men that made them bitter? So I don't understand. Instead of you guys to talk to your bros, the way y'all was so quick to talk to Chike, instead I thought men be like, oh, I stay out of it. That was a scam. Clearly, we can see what happened with the whole Frankie Doho and Sandra, how all the men on the internet and on Twitter banded together to come and say that cheating is a bad thing. The loneliness crisis that's about to hit these people, it's not being caused by women. It's literally being accelerated, being driven by, and being pushed by men who refuse to evolve and who refuse to adapt with the times. So you see those ones that say, hey, I'm looking for a wife like my mom.
Run.
Mind you, the biggest misconception that I hate is the fact that they're trying to paint it as, oh, women are becoming anti-men. No, that's not what's happening. What's happening is that women have options now, and men are struggling to come to terms with women having options, and they want women to settle so bad. And for the Elmos in the back, I know it's not all men. I don't even want women going back and forth with men trying to convince them, because they know exactly what it is and they know what they're doing. But of course, they don't want to do the hard work. They don't want to change. That's why another conversation that needs to be had is that these men, they want traditional wives, they want traditional girlfriends with modern benefits. And it doesn't work like that, but that'll be a separate video. I don't need women going back and forth on panels trying to convince men why they should do X, Y, and Z, because they know they're not as stupid as we would like to think. They know what they're doing. They're very intentional with what they are doing. They just want to bank on the women that can endure the most. So instead of trying to change their mindset, this is the opportunity for you to even focus on yourself more. A woman with options, need I say more? And that's also another video. We need to talk about how women can expand their options, and it's not just reduced to relationships, because this thing is bigger than relationships. Those who get it, get it. They will start to adjust. They will start to understand. As for the dusties, leave them in the back. Anyway, say no to physical abuse. Say no to domestic violence. Oh, well, the same thing. Say no to emotional abuse. Say no to financial abuse. A lot of you don't know what financial abuse is. Say no to all those things. Say no to a bad relationship, period. And remember, education is not a scam.
As this trend grows, some women are realizing that the attention, effort, and pursuit they once expected isn't as guaranteed as it used to be. The dating landscape feels very different when fewer men are actively playing the game.
If you are single, living in this economy, doing everything for yourself, you a bad bitch. All right? Like, gas is high, rent is high. Like, it is hard. Like, it is very, very challenging right now. Like, it is a privilege to get on a plane. Plane tickets are so high. Like, if you are a single mom, doing it by yourself, like, you need everybody to be patting themselves on the back right now, because wow. And I don't see it changing for the foreseeable future, which is also extremely concerning. So if you put groceries in your refrigerator every week, if you pay your car note, you pay your rent, if you doing all that by yourself, like, you need to give yourself some grace and be like incredibly proud of yourself, because it is incredibly challenging right now as a single human being living in America.
Whether people agree with it or not, one thing is becoming clear. When millions of men change their priorities at the same time, the effects ripple throughout the entire culture.
Women in 2026 are walking away from the feminist movement because of how contradictory it has become. It's clear that modern feminists seem to hate men, but they also love masculinity. They'll tell you men are toxic, but then they'll turn around and praise women for acting like the worst types of men. If you're loud and aggressive and like selfish, if you sleep around and you're emotionally detached from people, that's bad if you are a man. But if you're a woman, like, that's empowering. That's like slay queen. If those traits are really bad in men, why are we encouraging women to adopt them? And on the flip side, what happens to women who are more feminine? The ones who are more nurturing and soft and devoted to their children and their family, like the way women have been since the dawn of time. Those women, they're weak. They are brainwashed. They are oppressed. They are just victims of the patriarchy. Why? Because they don't act like men. Being harsh and reckless and self-centered is bad unless a woman does it. And being gentle and loving and family-oriented is good only when a man does it. But when a woman does it, it's bad. That's not empowerment. That's not leading women to be happier. Real empowerment would be valuing women for what we naturally bring to the table. Not telling us that the only way to be respected and empowered is to mimic the very traits we claim to hate in men. It's just starting to feel less like feminism and less like about femininity and about women, and more just like a rebrand of masculinity.
So here's the real question. Are women seeing the consequences of men opting out? Or are they simply witnessing a generation of men redefining what happiness and success look like?
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.